host of the Gridiron.
So, good old Russell Wilson came and he went, right? They said he was here last year, came and he went. This year, he went. Now, exactly what happened, what said, right, in their meeting. Did they go, Russell, okay, that's really nice, but we're still waiting on Aaron. When Aaron finally shoots us down, right, then we'll come calling, okay? So, who knows, right? I saw, once again, you see different things, right? I saw that Russell wanted like 2 years. I don't blame him. The Giants only wanted to have him for 1 year. I don't blame them there either. It could have, I don't know. So, exactly what to believe, who knows? But Russell Wilson was in the house, and we want to let him go. All right, so Russell Wilson visits the Giants but leaves New York without a contract. First big story after the official start of the new league year was Russell Wilson embarking on his free agent tour. Wilson met with the Browns on Thursday and then went to the Giants on Friday, but left both facilities without a contract, according to NBC Sports. Wilson is a free agent after spending the 2024 season with the Steelers, who have reportedly made a contract offer to Aaron Rodgers. The Giants have also reportedly made an offer to Rodgers, who is still trying to figure out what he will do this season. If Rodgers doesn't pan out, the Giants could turn to the 36-year-old Wilson, who won 6 of his first 7 starts with the Steelers before he and the team finished the 2024 season on a 5-game losing streak. Wilson was named to his 10th Pro Bowl last season. Wow. After throwing 16 touchdowns against just 5 interceptions in 11 regular season games. To be fair, also, my son, right, is a Cowboy fan. I know, go figure, right? But we went out to the Pittsburgh game. Cowboys played in Pittsburgh last year. Wound up being a real good game. It's like a last 20 seconds of the game. It's 4th down. I forgot where it was, at the 2 or 3 yard line. What the heck was the score? I think it was 17-13. Steelers are winning, so it was 4th down. Cowboys went for it, obviously. It was touchdown or the game's over. Dak hits, I can't remember the dude's name. Dak hits the guy right outside of the end zone. Right, he gets his feet in. Great catch, all that stuff. The Cowboys wound up being a great game. Very exciting game. But, there were times, that when the Steelers offense was on the field, it's kind of like, who the fuck this team? I mean, it's like, I'm like, they got a winning record. It's like, I was just like shaking my head. It was like, really, I mean, there was nothing. I mean, really nothing super spectacular about their weapons or anything like that last year. So, I mean, when he was in there playing, okay, he did a decent job, right? Although he didn't play the game that I went to. Me and my son went to. Fields played in that game. But the Steelers last year did not really have a plethora of weapons. So whatever Russell Wilson did last year, was he maximized with the minimum, right? Let's see. Wilson's highlights last year included throwing the game-winning touchdown pass to Mike Williams at the end of the Pittsburgh Week 10 win over the Commanders. 3 weeks later, Wilson threw for 414 yards, the second highest total of his career, and 3 touchdowns while leading the Steelers to a road win over the Bengals. Well, that's nice, but the Bengals defense was absolutely pathetic last year. That's why Lou Anarumo, their defensive coordinator, one of the reasons why he got canned. Their defense was just trash. Wilson numbers in Pittsburgh's wild playoff loss to the Ravens were solid as he went 20-29 for 270 yards with 2 touchdowns and no interceptions. But he was sacked 3 times and was a non-factor on the ground with just 6 yards on 3 carries. He may not be a long-term solution, but Wilson could serve as a temporary option until the Giants find their long-term starter. In New York, Wilson would be complemented by a solid receiving group led by Malik Neighbors. And Wilson wouldn't be a bad option for the Giants, but until Rodgers makes the decision, the Giants and several other teams, for that matter, will continue to wait before they sign Wilson or any other veteran. It's always the thing is, it's always like, especially with bringing in like a Wilson or something like that, right? They need a quarterback. They go and they sign somebody. You want to sign it for too long, because if things really go bad this year for the Giants and Shane and Dable want them getting canned, the new regime that comes in is going to want to have, if you sign Wilson like a 3 or 4 year deal, right? They're going to have, the new regime's going to come in and say, well, do we want Russell Wilson to be our quarterback? So that's always going to be a problem, right? If you did, if you got gutsy about it, right, and you had some cojones to you, I'm not saying this is what to do, but if you sign Wilson to a 3 year deal, you can get out after 2, just saying, that will give you another 2 or 3 years to find a quarterback, right? So, it's that way, just in case, I don't know what they're thinking. Is Cam Ward the only quarterback they want? He might be gone before he gets to the Giants. But that way, that would give the Giants like an option, right? And number 3, you take Hunter if he's there. If not, you take Carter, right? One of those guys, there's a good chance one of them is going to be there, especially if somebody takes Ward. I keep hearing Ward's going. Once again, this is stuff I hear, right? But if Ward's gone, you're guaranteed to have either Hunter or Carter there. You can never have too many edge rushers, pass rushers, / whatever you want. Beef up the freaking defensive line. Go for it. Take Carter if Hunter's gone. If Carter's gone, you got Hunter. You got yourself another cornerback. Oh, my God, right? Not a bad thing to have, but then you also got another freakish athlete on the offensive side as well, too. Right? Could you imagine Malik Neighbors and Hunter out there, and then Wan'Dale Robinson underneath? Wow. Okay. So if you got Wilson there, okay, and you got 2 really good wide receivers to throw, and then Robinson, right? You got him some weapons to throw the ball to. Okay. Not expecting Wilson to take us to the Super Bowl or nothing, but right. Or if you, sorry, buddy. Or you want to go another route, take somebody else, take the defensive lineman or an offensive, whatever, pick number 3. And you can take a wide receiver in the 2nd round, right? Help with the offense there. So there's a lot of ways to go, but this waiting game is just very brutal, very, very brutal. All right, what we got here? I got another one here. Russell Wilson and the Giants meet as Aaron Rodgers' options seem increasingly unlikely, meaning unlikely to come to the Giants. Russell Wilson visited Giants on Friday as the Aaron Rodgers option continued to fade into Mercury view. No one can say for sure what Rodgers 41 will choose as he deliberates on his next move between the Giants, Steelers, Vikings, or retirement. But some sources believe, as on Thursday night, that Rodgers to New York seemed unlikely. Others believe that the free agent visits of Joe Flacco and Wilson were a confirmation that the Giants were leaning the same way. And The Athletic reported Friday that Rodgers first was giving Minnesota time to discuss whether they wanted to make him a Viking. Everyone who speaks on Rodgers' futures qualifies their information or belief with some version of the phrase, but you never know with him. That's true. And his house in New Jersey makes the Giants the most convenient fit. So any change or shift or about face is still possible. On Friday, however, Wilson was the quarterback physically in the Giants building, visiting as free agent for the 2nd straight year, with a chance to be the team's Week 1 starter in 2025. And if Wilson doesn't sign, the Giants quarterback search could take some wild turns in the days ahead. Jameis Winston, Cooper Rush, Joe Flacco. Not that signing Wilson would guarantee a promising 2025 for the Giants either. But the 10-time Pro Bowler and Super Bowl champion has a 23-32 record as a starter in the past 4 seasons, 1 in Seattle, 2 in Denver, and 1 in Pittsburgh. Denver benched Wilson in 2023 before he could suffer an injury that would have triggered a $37 million injury guarantee for 2024. Well, I mean, basically what it was is, he came in there and then Peyton didn't want him. Sean Payton didn't want him as the quarterback. So then they released him and ate a huge dead cap hit. The Steelers then only had to pay Wilson a $1.2 million base salary to sign him for the season. So, I mean, I don't know why the Giants, $1.2 million, that's all he would have taken to sign Russell Wilson. We let Daniel Jones go, and we could still have Russell Wilson for $1.2 million. We got Tim Boyle. We're good. Oh, my God. Ironically, the Giants then did the same thing with Jones last fall, benching him and eventually granting his release to avoid triggering a $23 million injury guarantee. Now they're in the market to possibly sign Wilson to try to help them win games in 2025, while also potentially mentoring a rookie quarterback if Joe Shane picks one in April. As of Friday, though, there were still more questions about the Giants quarterback situation than there were answers. So one of the things you have to wait and see. But I mean, I said we could have had him last year for $1.2 million. Right? But it is what it is. So I have to wait and see. Hopefully, this week coming up, hopefully we'll get a little more clarity. I mean, there's quarterbacks out there, but I mean, we're talking like, Cooper Rush, Joe Flacco, Carson Wentz, and I said, oh my God, I mean, Jameis Winston, he excites me. We're not going to the Super Bowl, right? But he excites me, right? He'll throw you in a game. He'll also throw you out of the game. But I'll tell you what, the dude's going to throw some balls. He's going to throw some touchdown passes. He's going to move the team up and down the field. He's going to throw for over 300 yards in some games. He's going to get some excitement going in this thing. So we brought Jameis Winston in here. I'm all fine with that. I ain't got no problem with that. As I said, we're not signing. It's not Jameson Winston coming in here. We got him a 10-year contract, signing for $500 million, $50 million a season, 10 years. Okay, Jameis, here's the ball. Take us to the Super Bowl. That's not happening, right? But you bring him in, the guy. As I said, we might lose one game, whatever, 31-28 because he threw 3 interceptions. We might win the next week 31-28 because he threw 4 touchdown passes. Right? So he'll get the ball spinning. He will get the ball spinning without question.